Seriously, guys, I have not seen Democrats this upset since Lincoln freed the slaves. Now, I don't know who they're madder at. President Biden for his supposed preemptive pardon idea, or President-elect Trump because he's actually doing a better job than Biden and he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. So here's the tea from former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo about those preemptive pardons the White House is reportedly considering for the likes of Anthony Fauci and Liz Cheney. Check this out.
John, I want to explore the pre-pardon thing because it is unusual, maybe to Lucas's point, unprecedented. But let's say they go ahead and do something like that. What kind of weight do they carry? Or, can you even do it, period?
I'd hate to do this, but just to correct Lucas just a little bit, there have been pardons like this before, but on a massive scale. For example, as a student of history, the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson basically pardoned everyone who participated in the Confederacy, even though they'd all committed treason. President Washington actually, when he first used the pardon power, pardoned somebody for engaging in what was called the Whiskey Rebellion, which in this season sounds like an Irish bar or something. But the Whiskey Rebellion, in fact, was one of the first rebellions against the government of the United States. Washington pardoned the ringleaders before there were any charges or anything. But notice the difference. Those pardons were done for the national interest, to heal the country. Here, Biden is doing these pardons to save a family member, Hunter, and then maybe to save members of his administration. That's a sad end to a failed presidency, right? At the end of your presidency, you're pardoning people in your administration because you're afraid of what's coming next.
Now, seriously, these are the people that go after Trump while complaining that Trump will go after them. Worse for them, Biden can do no wrong in their eyes. So here's Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman trying his best to defend the Hunter Biden pardon. Watch.
It's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate. We cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents, and it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized.
A new piece with the headline, "The liberal media lays groundwork for mass pardons of deep state minions." And apparently Biden's team is listening. That comes after reports that Biden's White House is considering preemptive pardons for people who they think President-elect Trump could target. Names include Dr. Tony Fauci, Senator-elect Adam Schiff, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Mark Milley. The Wall Street Journal editorial board argues this, quote, "Preemptive pardons for outgoing officials would be a bad precedent, a constitutional abuse, and the next lawfare escalation. It would establish a precedent that presidents on their way out the door will grant immunity to lists of loyal staff and officials. If Biden really wants to cool the political temperature, he could pardon Trump for 2 federal cases. This would be a political olive branch that might stop the reprisal ratchet. Phil, broad pardons to people who haven't been charged with any crimes, that would, in the future, anybody who went to work in an administration, particularly a Democrat one, would just think that they could get away with, well, maybe murder while they were working there, and then they would be pardoned for what they might have been caught doing.
Well, yeah, certainly that type of pardon is not what the founders surely envisioned when they gave the chief executive of the United States, such broad and plenary pardon power. I'm sure this kind of thing never crossed their mind, or maybe they would have made it a little less broad. But nevertheless, let's just take, for example, Tony Fauci, right? All those people that you mentioned, including him, have denied that they have done anything wrong. They've denied any federal criminal activity whatsoever. So if Joe Biden were to go so far as to preemptively pardon an Anthony Fauci, for example, history will forever judge him as being someone who needed a pardon. In other words, he had done some particular federal crime for which he needed a pardon. He's vehemently denied that, but others have said, look, he could be indicted for maybe lying to Congress. People say that maybe he committed some type of mass fraud by lying to the American people about masks, vaccines, social distancing, school closing, and the whole thing like that. So history will forever judge Anthony Fauci and the others as people who needed a pardon because they had committed a federal crime. And that's not what these people want.
Man, first off, Biden pardoning Trump, it would seriously be the best thing ever. I would pay good money to see that. But yeah, going back to the point, as former Assistant District Attorney Phil Holloway explained, preemptive pardon pretty much confirms that there is something to pardon in the first place. So maybe these people should be on top of the list for when Donald Trump's DOJ starts their day one. What do you guys think? Well, here's the president-elect talking about it in his first sit-down interview after winning the election. Watch.
NBC News is reporting that President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci. If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out on the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and, creeps. So the Unselect Committee went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait. They deleted and destroyed all evidence of that they found. You know why? Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had a J6 because other people were guilty. The people that said that I attacked 2 Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are 2 of the toughest men anywhere on the planet. They happen to be slightly younger than me, maybe, just a little bit. Let me just tell you. They testified. They said it was total. And all of this stuff came out. People lied so badly. Now, listen, this was a committee, a big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir?
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee.
We're going to...
For what they did,
Yeah.
honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think
I think
should
everybody
go to
on
jail.
anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and
No,
your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
On
it carries
strengthening the
weight,
wood.
though. You've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, Unselect Committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they deleted it. Wait. And they destroyed almost everything. There's nothing left. It's unprecedented.
And they deny
If you
doing
do
that.
that in a civil case,
Yeah.
you go to jail.
They deny doing that. And officials say that the order never came in for
They
the
put
National
out
Guard.
a statement.
On January 6th, let me ask you this about January 6th. I think
Benny
you're going to want to
Thompson
answer
wrote
this.
in a statement.
Now, honestly, guys, there is a lot to unpack in that Trump NBC interview, especially with it being Trump's first sit-down broadcast television interview since winning the election. But first, I just want to mention, weren't you guys just a little bit bothered by how disrespectful that journalist was by calling him Mr. Trump? I mean, tell me if you guys agree. Christian Welker should have addressed him as president or maybe even president-elect. And they call Trump the election denier, right? Now, seriously, guys, these people, they just say whatever they want to say. But yeah, leave it to our incoming president to diffuse panicky, liberal fear-mongering over him and instead just kind of gin up excitement for his sweeping agenda for the country. All campaign long, his liberal haters have said all sorts of things about Trump and twisted his rhetoric to paint him as someone who intended to rip up institutional norms and was hell-bent on vengeance. A threat to democracy is what they call called him. Hitler 2.0, convicted felon, racist, misogynist. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But well, Trump rose above all of his haters in a pre-recorded chat with NBC's Meet the Press, where the Republican leader confronted those concerns head on and really showed himself to be a true pragmatist for the people. First big takeaway really from that Trump NBC interview was his hands-off approach to the DOJ and the FBI. He nominated Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi and loyalist Kash Patel as heads of the Department of Justice and the FBI respectively. But he did say that unlike his predecessor, Trump isn't going to be using these departments for unfair lawfare targeting his political opponents. When asked if he wanted Bondi to investigate Special Counsel Smith and the team that had been prosecuting the president-elect for several alleged crimes, Trump just said he thinks Smith is very corrupt, but he wants Bondi to do what she wants to do. Trump also was asked about the list of 60 so-called deep state actors that Patel had reportedly compiled. He was asked whether he wanted to see the people investigated. He just said a flat-out no, and that he thinks Patel's going to do what he thinks is right. And if they think that someone was dishonest or crooked or corrupt politicians, he probably has an obligation to do it. But still, Welker was trying to get her gotcha moment and asked if he would instruct such an investigation. Well, Trump wasn't taking the bait, and he pretty much just responded with a no, not at all, but also followed it up with they should go to jail. Then, of course, there's the January 6th committee, which Liz Cheney and Senator-elect Adam Schiff are a part of, two people who are on Biden's possible preemptive pardon list. Trump called them the Unselect Committee. According to our president-elect, for what they did, honestly, they should go to jail. But here's what liberal media is probably not going to tell you guys. Later, when asked if he would direct his U.S. Attorney General and FBI director to go after them, Trump replied, no, not at all. He just said that he thinks they'll have to look at that, but he's not going to ask. Instead, he's going to focus on drill, baby, drill, meaning his push for more oil and gas production and generally making America great and rich again. Drop a quick yes in the comments down below, guys. Hit the like button if you guys are showing your support for the president-elect. We're going to make sure he gets to accomplish his agenda without any of the enemies interfering. Subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. That way you guys don't miss out on any of our future updates. Now, seriously, guys, I really wish Democrats would take a page out of Trump's book and kind of just let bygones be bygones. In fact, when they asked about going after any Bidens, he said that he's really looking to make our country successful and he's not looking to go back into the past. You know the best thing that he said? That retribution will be through success. And on that note, Trump also took the opportunity in the NBC interview to turn the page on January 6th. He did so by declaring that he wanted to pardon the January 6th rioters on the first day of his administration. He promised the January 6th hostages that he's going to look at everything and that they're going to look at individual cases. But most importantly, he promised that he's going to be acting very quickly. Welker followed up and asked how quickly he planned to act on it. Here's what he said. First day, I'm looking first day. These people have been there, how long is it? 3-4 years? They've been in there for years. And they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open. And honestly, we better not hear any smack from Democrats about this. They started it. President Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, and it looks like he's planning to pardon his own key people like Anthony Fauci and Liz Cheney. No less than the New York Times editorial board explained, it is easy to imagine that they did it too. Defenses being offered should Trump pardon the perpetrators of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, as he suggested that he will. Hunter Biden's crimes are not nearly equivalent to the destruction caused by the rioters, but his father's action muddles the defenses against future abuses. And again, this is coming from the New York Times, guys, and I don't think you can get any more liberal than them, right? You know what I mean? So Biden announced last week that he pardoned his son from any crimes against the United States that he has committed or may have committed from January 1st, 2014 to December 1st, 2024. Now, Biden also accused the Department of Justice of targeting his son unfairly. He wrote, from the day he took office, he said he would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and he kept his word even as he watched his son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. His words, guys. Those were his words from his own statement about Hunter Biden's pardon. So yeah, he said he kept his word up until the moment that he didn't. I mean, can't really say that I'm surprised though, right? This is pretty much on brand for President Biden and the Democrats, am I right? Meanwhile, you got President-elect Donald Trump, who's ready to offer an olive branch even to Kamala Harris supporters, saying that he's going to treat them every bit as well as I've treated the greatest MAGA supporters. See, our president-elect, being the man that he is he's really more about uniting people instead of dividing them. He said that Harris supporters are so dedicated to making America great again, it's very simple. He said he's going to treat them just the same as he treats MAGA. Basically, he promises to treat everybody good and that he just wants success for our country and the safety for our country. Who he wants to target instead are the enemies of the United States. He said we have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to bring down crime. People have to be able to walk across the street and buy a loaf of bread without being shot. And Trump said that's going to happen. But also important is how we're going to all work together. And we're going to bring it together. And according to the president-elect, you know what's going to bring it together? Success. He mentioned his inaugural address, and it's going to be a message of unity and how success brings unity, making our country safe, keeping people that shouldn't be in our country out. He said we have to do that even if he knows it doesn't sound nice. Basically, it's going to be about bringing our country together for President-elect Trump. Case in point, Trump met with MSNBC host Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, some of the biggest critics of Trump in the media following his victory. For him, it's all about a free, fair, and open media or press. That's why he agreed that it would be a good thing if such a meeting took place. At the end of it, he said that the meeting was extremely cordial and that he very much appreciated the fact that they wanted to have open communication. In the Welker interview, Trump teased that he would pursue a busy day one agenda jam-packed with executive orders on a range of issues such as the economy and the border. He talked about winning on groceries and how in the previous administration, when you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. Well, things are definitely going to be changing once Trump's back in office, that is for sure. So who else is excited for Trump's inauguration on January 20th? Better yet, who thinks that they should move up his return to office to December 20th? I mean, he's pretty much already doing Biden's job for him, right? Drop a quick yes in the comments down below, guys. Let's get a discussion going on. More on this and all of the news that matters to you in the next one. Just always make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have your notification bell on, all right? And while you guys are at it, I'm already working on the next one. So you can go ahead and check out our other videos on the channel right now. In fact, I highly recommend our latest one on Fani Willis ending her career with this one move from Trump's legal team. Seriously, guys, definitely a must watch after this one. So be sure to check that one out. Now, guys, that was the news portion of today's video. Now I would like to introduce the sponsor of today's video, ConnectM Technology Solutions, who is listed on the NASDAQ under ticker symbol CNTM. ConnectM Technology Solutions is a company that focuses on developing technologies to support the growing trend of electrification, shifting from fossil fuels to cleaner energy sources like electric heating and transportation. The company offers innovative solutions in three main areas: building electrification, smart heating and cooling systems, specifically electric heat pumps, transportation and logistics, electric commercial vehicles for last mile delivery, distributed energy, solar power, battery storage, and EV electric vehicle charging infrastructure. ConnectM has made several key achievements recently. Debt reduction, debt to equity swap. ConnectM converted $13.7 million of its debt into company shares, helping reduce its debt significantly. Financial benefits: this move reduces annual interest payments by over $2 million, freeing up more money to invest in growth. Optimized balance sheet: the company achieved 90% of its $15 million debt reduction target within just 30 days of its plan being approved by the board of directors. Strategic acquisition: ConnectM acquired Green Energy Gains, GEG, which specializes in home energy assessments and weatherization solutions. Now, why does this really matter? Well, this particular acquisition, it helps ConnectM expand its customer base for their electric heat pumps. After free home energy assessments, many homeowners adopt these heat pumps. GEG has a high conversion rate of 65% for this process. Local partnerships: well, GEG brings a network of HVAC contractors who will distribute and install ConnectM's heat pumps, potentially leading to more partnerships and contracts. And let's talk about the groundbreaking technology: AI-powered heat pumps. ConnectM launched an intelligent AI-driven heat pump that has received the AHRI cold climate certification. This particular certification proves the heat pump performs efficiently even in very cold temperatures. And so why is this important? Well, unlike traditional heat pumps, ConnectM's AI-powered heat pump avoids energy spikes in cold weather, making it a reliable and eco-friendly heating option. And let's talk about that revenue growth, shall we? Third quarter success: in Q3 of 2024, ConnectM's revenue increased by 36% to $6.1 million compared to $4.45 $5 million in Q3 of 2023. Now, as for the year-to-date growth for the 9 months of 2024, revenue grew by 11% to $17.3 million. As for future projections, the company expects to reach $24 million in revenue by 2024. This would be a 20% increase from the previous year. And as far as the future outlook is concerned, operational goals, ConnectM aims to achieve positive cash flow by the first quarter of 2025. Some of the growth areas, the company continues to expand in building electrification, transportation and logistics, and distributed energy. Leadership commitment, CEO Bhaskar Panagrai and the management team believe in the company's future, demonstrated by their purchase of 455,000 shares, aligning their interests with other shareholders. At this point, I think it's pretty clear that ConnectM Technology Solutions is making major strides in the electrification industry by reducing debt, acquiring strategic businesses, and launching advanced energy-efficient technologies. With more revenue growth and a clear path toward profitability, ConnectM's future looks promising for shareholders and customers seeking sustainable solutions. To learn more about ConnectM Technology Solutions, check them out on the NASDAQ under ticker symbol CNTM. And hey, don't be a stranger, all right, guys? I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching and take care.